That presumption does not apply to the Department of Homeland Security or immigration files. Those are not public documents.
So moving on to a story we actually talked about a few weeks back. So a new lawsuit is demanding that the Department of Homeland Security release Prince Harry's immigration records, citing suspicions that the Biden administration allowed him to enter the U.S. despite his admission of illegal drug use, a factor that would usually be enough to deny other people entry. So the suit was filed by the Heritage Foundation, which argues that the DHS has failed to comply with previous requests for documents related to the agency's decision to let Prince Harry stay in the country. So the Freedom of Information Act requests were made following the release of Spare, Prince Harry's book, in which he admitted to using cocaine, psychedelics, and marijuana. So we did talk about this a few weeks back. So what does this new lawsuit mean? And is there any chance that Harry could be in trouble?
Well, there is a chance that Harry's in trouble, but the lawsuit doesn't have a whole lot of merit. So the Heritage Foundation is a conservative organization. They're upset that Prince Harry was granted some sort of special status. So the issue they're going to deal with, and, we've talked about court documents. Now there's a presumption that they're public. That presumption does not apply to the Department of Homeland Security or immigration files. Those are not public documents. So it's going to be very tough for the Heritage Foundation to win this case and get the type of access that they want.
Right. And so the DHS really can't be forced to release these documents.
They can't. Now, on the merits, generally, when someone admits to using drugs, they don't have to be convicted. That is a bar for them to be admitted to the United States. And it doesn't matter whether Prince Harry's on, a tourist visa or some sort of family visa, a diplomatic visa. This is generally going to be a bar. Now, that being said, does the DHS go after people who are in the United States after they've gotten a visa? Usually not, unless there's an arrest or some sort of reason to put them back in immigration proceedings. So even though theoretically this should have prevented Prince Harry from being in the United States, practically speaking, this isn't the type of thing that's enforced when someone's actually here.
Right. And considering the fact that Spare was written while he was here as well, does that factor in anything too? Yes, he's admitted to, drug use in the past, but not so much as he did in Spare. And he wrote that while he was here.
Yeah, he wrote that while he was here, and I think he did admit to using it when he was young, as early as 17 years old. So it may have covered the time period before he arrived. That being said, there's also, one way that you can get around drug use or even a drug conviction. If a medical doctor says that your drug addiction is in remission, you've been rehabilitated. Basically, a doctor has to say you're no longer an addict. So again, we don't know if a doctor did that in this case or even went that far, but that may be one exception to this whole drug use normal bar from admission.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.